Hello everybody, my name is Lex and welcome back to my project panning channel. Today we are talking about one of my favourite projects this year actually. It's my Pan That palette. So this year I decided to go for one of my older palettes. I put it up to a vote and the palette that got chosen is the Technic Mega Mattes. This is the oldest palette in my collection and it is really nice because it's an entirely neutral matte palette, so it's been working out really well for work looks, for everyday looks, for using with any other palette that I might want to use, you know? And there are 12 shades in here. I reached pan in all of them quite early on, and I've been slowly working through them because there's a lot of shades that I use just as lid setting shades, and then I intermittently use the more mid-toned and darker browns. Now, there is one big elephant in the room today, and that is this end pan right here. Yes, as you can see, I've finished my first eyeshadow. I thought I'd be coming on here showing you how I finally decided to repress it because it was getting difficult to pick up around the corners, and after I repressed it I only used it a handful of times and then it was gone, and I was like, I have an update and it's going to be a lot more eventful than I thought it was going to be. So let me talk you through some of my usage this month, starting at the less eventful side. I used this darkest shade here one time. I didn't use this shade at all. I used this shade 4 times. This shade 7 times. I didn't use this yellow shade. I used this shade 7 times as well. I tend to use these two in conjunction to make like a warmer toned eye look. Then I didn't use this shade or this shade. I used this very cool toned colour 4 times. I used this 6 times. And I started using this finally, so this has 3 uses this month. And this end shade had 19 uses. So I used it 19 times to finish it, and I started moving on to this pink shade. This pink shade hasn't had much use in the past few months because I had been focusing on one lid setting shade at a time. So now that I've finished this white shade on the end, I've moved on to this slightly more pink toned lid setting shade. It's still light enough to be a lid setting shade, so yeah, it doesn't show up as pink at all on my eyes pretty much. It's a really nice colour to use, and I feel like it's also got a lot of kick up, and it is quite powdery. These are super old, so I'm not surprised, but the powderiness is kind of helping me get through them a lot faster, so I've seen quite a bit of pan expansion in this shade as well, and as you can see, I've hit this side pan. Focus. Hit a side pan. So a lot of these pans are looking pretty good now. Do I think I'm going to have this whole palette finished by the end of the year? No. But realistically, this is more love than this palette has seen pretty much since I bought it. Because I did used to use it a lot when I first had it. It was my only palette for a really long time. But yeah, I basically didn't touch it for years and years, and now I'm back to using it, and I do like it. It's a nice staple palette that goes with pretty much anything. And I'm genuinely surprised that I basically managed to hit 50 uses on this palette across the different pans. 50 uses, that's mad. Granted, my tracking for this month has been a little bit off. I couldn't get my June stuff sorted, so I kind of just kept tallying the first week of June as part of May, you know, but whatever. That's still a ton of progress and I'm still super pleased, and yeah. To give you the final stats on this eyeshadow, it took me 10 uses to hit pan on it and 60 uses total to finish it. Granted, this palette's had some use before, and the tracking isn't going to be accurate like to the T from when I started using the eyeshadow. These had some prior use before I started tracking, but I had 10 tracked uses to hit pan, 60 tracked uses to finish it completely. And it is a lid setting shade, so I use it all over my eyes, which it doesn't surprise me too much. So hopefully the same can be said for a lot of these other setting shades. I can use them quite a bit, so hopefully I can finish up maybe 2 more by the end of the year or something like that. At least 1 more for sure, you know. I do use them pretty regularly, so my fingers are crossed that I can get another one done. Also, as part of my Pan That palette, because that is a very, very neutral palette and I'm working on it all year, I've been rolling in a companion palette every month to add a little bit of flavour, a little bit of sparkle or colour, and the only goal I have for my companion palette every month is to use each shade once. My companion palette for May was this Beauty Crop Wish Cherie palette, and it's just a little 5 pan. It's really nice. I usually make about 2 looks with it to use up all the shades. And yeah, they're really nice. They work together really well, and I love a good pop of like pink. You know, these are all very beautiful, and especially the shimmers are gorgeous. This one surprised me because it looks really deep, but it's really not that deep on the eyes. And this one has like a pink orange flip, which is just gorgeous. I love that. I used each shade once in May, so pretty successful. Granted, there's only 5 shades in here, but yeah, that's alright. I enjoyed using it. And for the month of June, I will be rolling in my I Heart Revolution Tasty Peach eyeshadow palette as my companion palette. Let me open her up. Now, I did randomly roll this because I do like a level of randomization. Hold on. There we go, that's better. So, my one issue is that, firstly, this is a large palette. It's got 18 shades, which is a lot more than the palettes I've been using recently. On top of that, I don't like a lot of these are more mid to dark colors. There's a lot of these like dark purples, dark browns, and things like that. These aren't everyday colors. There's hot pinks and things in here, and they are more darker leaning. There's not a lot of light colors in this. So I'm gonna probably take a while getting through this, which means this is probably going to be my main focus this month. I'll have to focus up to get through all of these shades even once. But it is a beautiful palette and I love the colour story, so I will be happy to reach for this. I've swatched it, I believe, but I've never used this palette on my eyes, so I'm excited. It is going to be really, really interesting. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time with probably a slightly less eventful update, but I'm so pleased that I finally managed to get a shade finished. It is halfway in the year, but you know, I'm glad that I can see a lot of progress and I can see the pans expanding. It's honestly a good project and I like trucking along. It doesn't feel like a chore to use those eyeshadows. They go with everything, and I have a variety of shades to dip into, whether I want a darker look, a lighter look, anything in between. So yeah, I will see you all next time with another update. I hope you have a good day. Bye!